Good morning. Happy Victoria Day, or Fête des Patriotes as well. Forgot about that one. Whatever you're celebrating, or just May 2-4 weekend, hope you're enjoying it. Queen Victoria never personally visited Canada during her reign, by the way, which extended from 1837 to 1901. So it was named in honor of her to represent, I guess they were doing a tour of Canada in 1860, but she wasn't on it, unfortunately. Should we still have this day named after Queen Victoria? Or, as I've suggested for many years, maybe it's time for a little rethink. And this is the insolent segment that has gotten me in trouble in past Victoria days. Tom Freda is the director and co-founder of Citizens for a Canadian Republic. Hello, Tom.
Good morning. I'm so terribly sorry I got you in trouble.
It's my pleasure. It's literally my pleasure. I've talking to you for many years, Tom, and I wouldn't call myself a Republican myself, but I also definitely even less would call myself a monarchist. I think that relationships with the Commonwealth are important, just minus the hereditary sovereign part. So I wonder if we can maybe one day find a middle ground, but I don't think you're for the middle ground, right? You just want to separate, essentially, to just draw the line between Canada and the UK and the monarchy.
Not quite, but the way you've described your own feelings, that's pretty well what our group is all about.
Okay, great.
And you fit right in with the majority in Canada, according to all of the opinion polls that have taken place in the last 20 or so years. Most Canadians either are in favor of putting our ties to the British monarchy in the history books, or they don't care one way or the other. And that's been the majority for, pretty sure, at least into the 90s. So more than 25 years. So the opinion is that the monarchy has, for some people, has served a great purpose. We won't argue that point. The point is, it's the 21st century, and having Canada constitutionally connected to the United Kingdom through a family of people that don't live here, they aren't Canadian, and they aren't selected by us, this really smacks of colonialism. And, as I say, it's the 21st century. Canada is a first world country. We're a member of the G7. In all respects, we're a major player in the world, yet we haven't taken that last step to independence and removed the link to the monarchy. Now, That doesn't mean we have to change anything other than the connection between our Governor-General and the UK royal family. That's all it is. And it wouldn't change the function of the Governor-General. It wouldn't change the function of Parliament. We'd still have royal institutions in Canada. We'd still be a member of the Commonwealth. And if anyone needs an example of how this can be done, just look at Barbados, which did it 2 years ago. And Jamaica has plans on doing the same thing this year. So that it doesn't mean we become more American. It means we become a parliamentary republic, just like Ireland and Austria and Iceland and most major countries in the world, that we are close to our parliamentary republics. And it's just a major part of the evolution of our country. And doesn't mean we have to dislike British people. It doesn't mean we have to dislike the royals. And it doesn't mean our relationship with Britain needs to change. So that's what our organization is about, and most Canadians do tend to agree with it.
Well, thanks for clarifying, and indeed you do present your project as being one that wouldn't have a tremendously large impact on any Canadian, really. What would be the impacts, though? What kind of changes would be seen over the years if we were to do this, to make the simple separation between Governor-General and the UK? You're saying keep the Governor-General, but as Canada's head of state. So other than that, what does this new vision look like?
Well, that sums it up, making the Governor-General our official head of state instead of our de facto head of state, because our Governor-General does everything that a parliamentary president does elsewhere in the world. So there are even constitutional scholars who have written quite lengthy books on Canada's relationship with the Crown, and it has been quite often said that we have a crowned republic. Or a republic under another name. because the royal family and the British monarchy doesn't really have any say over here. It's strictly a symbolic connection, and our Governor General effectively is our parliamentary president right now. It's a ceremonial role. Our Prime Minister has the role of running the government, and the Governor General is our de facto head of state. Mm-hmm. We only seek to make that official, and that connection, that symbolic connection to the UK, and the fact that we have British royals on our currency, and you can still go to a post office in some places and see a picture of the Queen or the King, or this. As I say, it's the 21st century. Look, this is something that belongs in the history books. We need to express ourselves as an independent and sovereign country, and I think recent events in the world have shown that that's an attractive option for Canada, and I think it's long overdue. And the day that you celebrate in Quebec, we call it Victoria Day in the rest of Canada, but in Quebec it celebrates the 1837 rebellion, and I think possibly an outlier among my Republican friends, but I do think that it wasn't a bad thing that we lost the 1837 rebellion, because they were seeking an American-style republic, and we don't. We seek to have a European-style parliamentary republic. The benefits of the 1837 rebellion were that we got responsible government in North America, and we became more democratic. And this is the other part of our goal. This makes us more democratic. If we have a choice in who becomes our head of state, rather than ending up with one by chance of birth, I think that's a good thing, and I believe most Canadians would as well.
We're almost out of time, Tom Freda of Citizens for a Canadian Republic, but quick comment on the visit of King Charles delivering the throne speech next week. What do you think? Is that appropriate?
I don't think it was a good idea, but we also have to acknowledge that most Canadians don't think of the monarchy very often, and our group has to work hard to get public interest in our cause when the royals aren't in the news and when the royals aren't here. So, as a matter of fact, during the Harper years, when the Conservative government was doing all kinds of things with the monarchy, we were getting more press than ever. So we look at it as a way for Canadians to be aware that we still do have a monarchy. And there are polls that have been out in recent times that say that Canadians aren't even aware that we still have a monarchy. So in that respect, I think it's good, and I hope Canadians do take a quick look at what this means for Canada and how we go about changing it. And I think that most Canadians would agree. And I should add that if your listeners want to learn more about this, we have a website, canadian-republic.ca, or just go to Google and search Canadian Republic, and you'll see our website right there at the top. And we have all kinds of information which will clarify this.
Tom Freda, Director, Co-founder of Citizens for a Canadian Republic. Nice chat as always. Thank you.
Anytime.
Take care.